Let's go to Tom Canavan with the Associated Press. Tom covers the Giants day in and day out. We'll see him at the end of summer when we get ready for training camp. But he joins us here on Big Board Sports on 104.5 a Team ESPN Radio. Good morning, Tom. Roger Weiland, Chris Honorado in Albany. How are you?
Hey, Roger. Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Always a pleasure, Tom, to hear your voice. I know it's football and NFL, and I know it's Giants. Well, let me just ask you about the overall number one pick, Saquon Barkley, number 2 overall, Giants top pick. Do you like the pick?
Sure. I mean, I have a feeling, just based on what happened, they didn't have that gut feeling that they had for Eli in 2004. So if they didn't have that for a quarterback, they weren't going to take one. So they had, and the feeling they had for Barkley was, this guy is a game breaker. So, I mean, I love it.
I do, too. I'm a Penn State guy. I think he's going to be a great fit. And then I like what they did in the rest of the draft. How do you grade everything else out after that number 1 pick? Because they did get, from what I can tell, a really good offensive lineman from UTEP.
Right. They Will Hernandez had a first-round grade on him. He seems to be, we had him on the phone on Friday. He seems to have his head on straight. He's a big guy. He's bigger than your average guard. And I think, the line will be remarkably better when you consider you have Solder at left tackle. You have this kid in Omana, who's the other free agent they signed at the guards. Brett Jones returns at center. And the question mark is right tackle. I mean, and it's all about Eric Flowers. And I mean, nobody seems to know where his head is at these days.
Tom, do you get the feeling that the Giants are or would entertain offers for Eric Flowers? I mean, I guess it's a little more common to trade a piece like that before the draft, but now that we're beyond that, do you think the Giants would still entertain any offers?
I think the smartest thing to do would be to see what he does in training camp. If he has a remarkable turnaround, you've got a first-round pick playing right tackle. If he doesn't have a remarkable turnaround, what I would think they would do is groom somebody else to step in, and then when another team has a starter hurt at tackle, that's when you make the trade, when the other team is vulnerable and wants to give up something.
Time with Tom Canavan, Giants beat writer, covering the Giants draft. And I even thought it was interesting that they and I've seen this young man play because I call you Albany football games, Kyle Laletta, the quarterback from Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very hesitant after the second round. I mean, because if you look at, NFL rosters, it's rare that anybody after the second round makes it. I think what's good is I've never seen him play, but he definitely will push Davis Webb for the backup job, and that's good.
But they must be high on Davis, right? When they selected Barkley, I think they were saying, we don't, like you said, we're not thrilled with any of those other quarterbacks, so we like them, but they're not going to lead us to the Super Bowl anytime in the near future. So let's go in a different direction. Barkley's the best player in the draft, so they land Barkley. But I think they're also saying that they do have belief in Eli Manning at 37 years old for a couple of more years, and they must feel somewhat good about Davis Webb as the backup right now.
Pat Shermer said he liked what he saw in the mini camp. But again, until I see this kid in a game and what he does, I'm going to reserve judgment. It's having a good arm when nobody's touching you is easy. I want to see what he does on pressure.
How about the third-round pick for the Giants, which was Lorenzo Carter, the linebacker from Georgia? I know you said after the second round, it becomes somewhat of a crapshoot, that you hope that you landed a guy that can make a contribution. What are you hearing on Lorenzo Carter, the linebacker from Georgia, in round 3?
He's an edge rusher, and the only thing I got from him is when he spoke, you could sense that he wasn't very smart or he was not happy talking about being a third-round draft pick. If the Giants are lucky, it's the latter. And he comes in with a little chip on his shoulder and gives them another edge rusher. But he's a kind of a guy who's a tweener who might fit in a 3-4 system, playing on the edge.
All right, Tom, here's the question everybody wants to know. Before, during, after training camp, is Odell Beckham Jr. getting a contract extension?
I wouldn't give him one. I mean, I want to see what he does this year. He's coming off an injury. He's always had great years, but I dislike having skilled players returning after they're hurt. Look at what happened to Victor Cruz. I know it's a knee and an ankle are different body parts, but I want him to show me. I mean, and if he shows me, then I give him the money. But he's also a pain in the neck. And I'm old, and I don't like pains in the neck.
I'm old, too, and I don't like pains in the neck. And some mornings I wake up with a pain in the neck. But here's my thing. Hasn't Odell shown you that he wants to be there and get ready and play and buy in to this new coach, to the new general manager? Because he has shown up, but I think he's trying to make a statement right there.
Oh, I think that's a positive thing. But until the next video pops up, then I'll reserve judgment again.
So, do you think he will have forget what you think. Do you think, or what I think, do you think he will have a new contract before this season starts? Or how about this, before training camp gets rolling at the end of July?
Not what I think you want, huh? Yeah, I think the Giants will cave in, but I wouldn't.
So there you go. I think the Giants are going to cave in, too. I don't think they want any distractions. They got a new coach, new GM. Things have gone very smoothly. They got Saquon Barkley. The mood swing right now with the Giants is positive. I was looking at other guys grading out the Giants. Everyone's got them like an A. They're giving the Giants an A-. The climate is really good. I think the next step to make it even better would be to get OBJ a signed contract that he's happy with, and we all move on until the next thing happens in his life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's my thing, though. When you're 3-13, it's really easy to get an A on your draft if you put any work into it. I want to see them get to 10-6 again, and then have another good draft.
So you're not giving them an A?
Oh, I give them an A.
Okay.
I mean, there's no doubt they got an A, but I'm saying, it's easy when the questions are, when the stuff you're asked is easy.
But, Tom, is it fair to say, do you trust Dave Gettleman to make those draft decisions more than Jerry Reese?
Again, it's Jerry never – I mean, I can't remember what the highest pick Jerry had was.
Yeah, okay.
But I think Jerry, went out on a limb too much at times, taking some people who had, just didn't work out. I mean, who's that kid they drafted a couple of years ago? Digizua, whatever his name was. And what did he last? 2 years, then he got tired?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out, Tom. Looking forward to getting them on the field. I will say this about Gettleman. There's something about him I really like. I just want to go out and have a beer with him. He's a guy I want to just take across the street and belly up to the bar, have a couple of beers, and just hear what he has to say.
Well, you may not get a word in, though.
He likes to talk, huh? He likes to talk. That's great. Tom, keep up the great work. Thanks for a few minutes here on 104.5 The Team ESPN Radio in Albany.
Take care.